Hey guys,
I'm Jerry.
I'm Sierra.
We're ladies.
And we tangent. What's up, everyone? Hello. Did you throw your gum onto our floor somewhere?
I see it. I'll pick it up or I'll step in it.
Yeah, either way, it's going to get off the floor.
It will. It will.
And onto these shoes.
Or
My
maybe.
socks.
Or maybe.
No free feet.
Does that count if they're in socks?
I don't know.
I thought that was like a hood.
No, you're right. My socks are closed.
Yeah, your feet are hooded.
Yeah.
They're clothed. They're clothed.
They're cloth. Cloaked in a woolen sock.
I don't.
We're having a
That makes
silly
me feel
goofy time, everyone.
sexual in a weird way.
Woolen sock? What the
Yeah.
fuck do you and Shane do, you puppet freaks?
Anyway, maybe all of the bugs that are flying around in here
They'll
will stick to
carry it
my
away.
gum. They'll carry it away. Maybe. Hey, I don't care. It's either going to take care of the gum or it's going to take care of the bugs. And either way, I'm happy.
It's a win-win.
Yeah. Today, you and I both know that it's the first day of Starbucks winter menu.
Wake up. It's a Starbucks winter. Get up, caramel brulee latte.
You guys, you all sing along if you know the words. Okay, I don't know if this happens at every Starbucks, but it happens at our Starbucks. The manager is very committed to holiday launches.
I never loved anyone more than I like that man.
And so on the first day of any holiday launch, he dresses up.
Full outfit for the whole day.
An inflatable one.
Yeah.
He starts 6 a.m.
And he
right?
stands
Mhm.
where cars park.
Can I tell you, I asked him today.
Has he ever been hit?
Yes. I said,
It's
hey.
gotta be close.
I said, have you ever been hit? And he said, twice. 2 times he's been hit. He said, last year on Pumpkin Spice Day.
I knew it.
He said, I was dressed up as a full-on pumpkin.
He was, I didn't even know
It's
how
a-
you could see. It's so big.
It's a wide pumpkin.
Yeah.
And he got hit by a pickup truck. And the guy goes, I didn't see you.
Yeah, okay.
And he goes, sir, you ordered all the way back here and you drove all the way up here. And at no point did you see a man in an orange pumpkin suit. What do you mean?
the biggest fucking costume we have.
He said, I said, you need to take it like a charge. You need to act like a professional basketball player and hit the ground.
Yeah, immediately sue. That's what I would do.
So anyway,
Yeah,
I'm in cahoots with Starbucks.
I really like him, and I like
I like that he calls me by my name.
Me too.
Because
he knows me.
he's I don't want to burst your bubble. Do you
It's on
pay
our
with your
card.
app?
He said it to me today before I gave my app.
Really?
I used to go after I had Sawyer. I was in a bit of a rut.
Okay.
And so getting out at the Starbucks was the only way I got out of my house.
Uh-huh.
So I would go every day.
Okay.
Every day. And so I think he said Sierra enough times that he knows.
Well, now I want to know if he knows me because I
might.
like that he says my name, but I always think he knows my name because it says Jerry on my app.
Yeah. Because he said it today when I rolled up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, you came back. And I was like, yeah, because he told me that today
Oh,
was the day. And I
yes.
was like, you bet your fucking ass I did.
I got a
Caramel brulee latte.
And I got a fucking cranberry bliss bar.
I love those. You know how much I love those.
I came home and I said, Shane, you trying to Lady in the Tramp this with me or what?
Just like, nom, 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 nom.
And he said, yeah.
Can I tell you about a really fun thing that we did last week? You didn't, but I did.
Yes.
We as in me and my people.
Your people.
Who are your people? I'll explain.
Okay.
So after we recorded last week,
I know. I'm offended that you just referred to them as your people. But
You
go
were my-
ahead.
you
They
were my
are your
person.
people. They just include me.
they did include you. We all invited you.
I
We
know.
actually multiple times throughout the night tried to get you to come. And Nicole,
I apologize that my children had 103-degree fucking fevers and I ended up in the hospital.
no, we weren't mad at you. We were gonna come
I
to your
feel
house.
like you're coming in hot at me.
We were gonna sit outside your house with a boombox
I
and play
know.
Taylor Swift. That was our plan.
I know.
We were
She
gonna bring
said-
you treats.
She said you were going to bring me cake.
We
I don't
were.
want to think about that because it makes me sad.
I know, but I was
Anyway.
like, she's not responding. She goes to bed sometimes on the fucking flip of a dime.
Well, that's so. Sorry, this is all over the place, but
That's who we are.
Sierra was out with her people.
I have friends,
they were texting me trying to either get me to join them or they were just like asking me random questions. And Nicole said, are you going to go to sleep?
Are
Are you
you
going to be
to feel included?
Are you going to be up in an hour?
Mhm.
And I said, that is a big ask. I don't know. I could be awake for the next 6 hours, or I could be asleep
in a minute
before I send this message.
And
I don't know.
because Nicole is a friend of mine who went with us on the bachelorette party, she goes, I know Jerry. That bitch will sleep. We were talking to her, and then she was
Lights
asleep.
were on.
All of a sudden, she was snoring, and we were like, you were part of the conversation
I would say,
a minute ago.
Arguably, one of the most rambunctious evenings of the trip I slept through entirely.
100%. There were moments where we were all like gasping in shock at what was happening that evening, and Jerry was fully asleep.
I was like,
I was scream yelling because things were happening that I was like, what the fuck is going on? You, lights out.
unconscious.
Except lights were on. Anyways, back to the beginning. My friends, okay, so I have to tell my friends, Nicole included. Nicole is a friend of mine who, she came to my bachelorette weekend. We used to work at Schmexer Smokehouse together. And she is just one of my friends who knows that I need to be bullied into hanging out with
I
people.
love those friends.
And she will, and I love it. So she kind of told me, she was like, hey, this is a plan that me and my friend are doing this weekend. Do you want to come? And I was like, I will do my best to make it, which is what I say like all the time. She was like, well, full disclosure, I'm having a rough time. And I like really kind of need friends right now. And I was like, say less.
Yep.
Now I feel really needed.
Yep.
I will fucking be there. Okay.
If you ever want Sierra to get out of her head,
about
tell her that
you need me.
You're down in the dumps.
Yeah. And I was like, I'll fix you.
You
I
will
promise
ignite
you
her
that.
savior complex and she will be right there.
Yeah. And everything else out the window.
Her depression, cured.
Gone. Anxiety,
Gone.
no longer there. So we meet up to go out to dinner together, and there's 4 of us. So her friend Stevie, who oh my goodness,
Oh my God.
what is that?
That is an alarm that I set 2 years ago and I forgot to turn off. I should probably
Play
do that.
every day.
Well, I did turn it off at one point and then I accidentally turned it back on. And so, yes, it has been playing every Thursday for the past month.
At 3 p.m. Tight.
Yes. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So her friend Stevie, who I would say is a friend of mine now, but we used to also work together, but I wouldn't say that we were close then, but we are close now. So it was very fun. And then another friend of mine, Jen, who very Roadhouse crew.
I didn't know she was there as
She
well.
came to dinner.
Oh.
She ended up having to leave for the movie. So anyways.
Right.
So we go to dinner. Fun time. Silly, goofy time. We're all having a good at one point, me and Jen are talking, and I noticed that Nicole and Stevie are whisper talking to each other, and you know that ignites
oh my God.
I'll be instantly, should I leave? What's going on? What the fuck is happening?
You want to fucking turn on Sierra's fight or flight? Whisper in her presence.
In my presence while I'm talking to someone else, just be whispering and laughing together. And I was like, what's going on? Anyways, they were playing Pokemon Go, which I was like, okay, carry on. Who the fuck am I? So then they said Stevie and Nicole really I think Stevie was the big Swiftie. So here's the deal, people. I'm not a Swiftie. All right. I would categorize myself as I enjoy Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
I like what she's doing for football. Mostly because now
and the economy at large.
Yeah. And I get that she is a very talented woman. I love to see women succeeding.
Yes.
I know her songs that are popular, but I wouldn't say that I would go any deeper than that.
Yeah.
But they invited me to go watch the Eras Tour movie, which is just essentially, I didn't realize that it's just the concert.
And it's 3 hours long.
3 hours long. So when we get there and I realize that that's what this is, I'm like, uh-oh, maybe I made a mistake.
Which I kind of knew, but I was like, you know what? This is for you to figure out on your own.
It was very much like the Barbie movie where we were easily the oldest people.
Yep.
There were so many middle school to early high school girls. I'm talking maybe 12 to 16-year-olds that were just oh. Okay. So anyways, but here's the fun thing about the people that I have in my life that I really like is that they won't let you just be because I think they could tell that we were all just all right, this is just a concert and we're sitting here. No, Stevie's I'll be right back. She runs to the restaurant that we were at and gets us all to go drinks. Smuggles them into the movie theater. I'm talking bagged martinis and then cans of beer. Okay, so we get.
Were you drinking beer out of a straw?
Yes, in the movie theater, out of my purse.
Amazing.
And then it all of a sudden turns into the most fucking fun I've ever had. Like, I felt like I was there. First of all, the girls in the theater ran up to the... I have video of the whole thing because it was...
I saw a video of something similar happening where the people ran up front and were in a circle. They were circling, and someone was like, "What in the fucking witchcraft is happening?"
Kind of what was happening. Okay, but it was... So I told Nicole and Stevie, I was like, honestly, this is less for me. And like, I mean, I appreciate what's happening up here. She's a great performer.
Yes.
100%. There wasn't a time where I was like bored.
Right.
It's all wonderful. But I really enjoy watching people enjoy things.
Yes.
And the way that these girls were just having like the best night of their life. First of all, there's a video I have. So they're all down in the pits.
They're on the mosh pit at the Taylor Swift movie.
And they are screaming. Also singing. And at one point I'm like, are they going to come in and tell us like we have to quiet down? Because I have video of it. And you can hear them just like screaming the entire time. But there are girls with their phones up like they're at a real concert recording.
Oh my gosh.
It was so cute.
I did see an article on the Daily Mail that was like, Taylor Swift is ruining movie theaters because of exactly what you were just saying. Is it's so loud that they can't even hear other movies.
It probably was.
Now, this theater only has two things, and I think they were both playing the same thing.
Yeah. So I don't think it wasn't a huge deal.
Yeah.
It was a very, I think that's why they didn't come in and tell us to be quiet. But like, us, like we weren't.
That's really cute though.
It was a magical moment. It reminded me a lot of the Barbie thing where I was like, I had just like a taking myself back to me in middle school and how like shy and awkward and embarrassed I was. And I was like, look at these girls. They don't care what they look like. They don't care. They are just having the time of their life in a time where I know that they're over analyzing every move that they make. And it honestly at one point brought me to tears.
Like,
I was like,
heals a part of you.
Yes. I was like, look at how fucking fun, how much fun they're having and how like carefree and just like living their life that they're being right now because they feel safe in this movie theater because there was honestly probably not a single man in there.
I was going to say,
not one guy.
In America, we don't often feel safe in movie theaters, bowling alleys, malls,
concerts,
schools,
of any
anywhere.
kind. Yeah. But it was just a really beautiful moment that we could all share, I feel, together. And I just felt like a proud I was like such an auntie in that moment where like there were girls behind us and they at some points were standing up and I was like, get up, girls, you fucking do it. And then I was like, had my hands in the air for a couple songs. It was really beautiful.
Did you know whether or not I was serious about the era that I gave you?
Which was what?
So at some point,
I said Renaissance, which I know isn't real. And Nicole told me to say that. She said it would be funny.
So Sierra and Nicole both text me and are like, pop quiz, what's your favorite era? Now, I know that Nicole knows the eras.
Yeah.
I don't know if Sierra knows the eras. And so I tell Nicole my real answer is that I'm kind of like, I really started to gain a lot of respect for her and start paying attention and like challenging my own internal misogyny during Reputation.
Yeah, mine is like 1989, I think.
But I really am more of like a Folklore Evermore girl.
Yeah.
And I really do like Midnights. But when Sierra asked me, my response was Flutter.
I was like, I'm such a Flutter girl myself. I also really love Renaissance.
I said, I'm going to say this to her because I don't know if she knows the eras and if she's going to bat an eye or if she's going to say Flutter to Nicole and then feel like an idiot.
No, I showed her and I said, I don't think this is real. And she goes, it's not. I was like, cool. So anyways, I told Nicole, I was like,
Renaissance is Beyonce.
I know, that's why I said it.
And Flutter is kind of leaning Mariah Carey.
I was like, yeah.
Because she's got like honey and also like butterflies.
Yes.
Stuff, and so that's why I went Flutter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, it was just like I told her, I'm like, please make me do this more because that was one of the most fun nights that I've had in a really long time. And it was like just to like letting go.
I don't
moment.
do well, but I know I need those moments, but I don't do well, like, taking the steps necessary to be a part of them.
Yeah, I know. That's why we were kind of almost forcing it on you.
I know.
Then I was like, she is probably just going to go to sleep. We got to leave her alone. And they were like,
well,
okay.
I didn't sleep.
Nicole was fully like, if one of us could have driven after the movie theater, which none of us could. Turns out we drank more than we thought in the movie theater. So then we ended up going to a bar and waiting for our rides to come. Be responsible. Okay, that's all I'm asking.
Right.
Drink around middle schoolers, fine. Like, don't drive then.
Yeah. Because there's middle schoolers out.
And like, be responsible.
Yeah.
So, oh shit, I can't remember what I was gonna say, but yeah, we just
you were gonna like come to my house.
We were fully gonna just like start playing it loudly, and I was like, but she has had sick kids. We shouldn't.
Well, and that's the thing is.
Wake her children.
I didn't respond to the messages, but I was awake when I received the message that was like, this is a test to see if you're awake. And then like, oh my God, no, you need to get up. We're about to come over, whatever.
Yeah.
Because that was when I think either Ollie or Forrest, it's such a blur because both of them have been taking turns waking up. And either Ollie was up with a horrible fever and a cough, or Forrest was up, trigger warning for, stuff inside your body coming out of your body.
Expulsing.
Just puking.
Yeah.
Puke. I'm gonna puke.
Straight up puke.
Just so you guys know, we need to take our trash out, and we haven't. And it's been really hot in here, and we have a lot of fucking bugs. So, welcome to the presidential debates.
Fruit flies. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, there's fruit flies here. So if they land on us, mind your business. But I have not slept in like a week. But what I need you guys to know is that I am a doctor.
Okay. Yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Let me fucking tell you guys this. First of all, it is now public knowledge that my sister has had her baby.
Congrats. So exciting. She's beautiful.
I fucking love her.
Beautiful.
There's that wonderful girl. Could she be any cuter? No, she couldn't.
She literally couldn't.
But there was a lot. I just talked to Randy yesterday and I was like, so now that people know that the baby's here and I was your support person, I was there the entire time. I kind of want to discuss a little bit about my experience, but like I don't want to reveal too much information because there's some sensitive circumstances around my sister's situation. And she goes, well, I mean, you were there, so you can speak on it from your perspective. Just like use your best judgment. And I'm like, okay. Well, what I want you to know is I became a nurse in that week that I was in the hospital with my sister. Okay. I genuinely, like, they gave me so many privileges. First of all, they told me I could go behind the desk. I was allowed to go in the back room and get my own ice and my water. They said I was welcome to anything in the fridge.
What?
I know. I know where the spoons are. Like, really, I felt super trusted.
Yeah.
Okay. My sister, we found out, is allergic to tape. Like,
yes.
It's that, paper
like,
tape.
Yeah.
So normally they use paper tape because people have reactions to the other tape, but my sister is allergic to the paper tape. Literally ripped her skin off.
Oh my God.
And so I'm looking and I go, Randy, that is an allergic reaction that you have going on right now. And I think we need to cover it. So we should probably get some gauze and something that's not paper tape to go over that so that you can bend your arm to hold your fucking baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so the nurse comes in and she goes, oh yeah, that does look bad. That looks like an allergic reaction. I go, see, that's what I said, Randy. I said you had an allergic reaction.
I don't know if you know this, but I did diagnose you before.
I walked up to the board and I go, I'm just going to go ahead and put my name up here if you guys don't mind.
I'm a diagnoser.
So then I was telling my sister, like, different things of what to expect for herself or for the baby during her recovery. And I was saying this in front of her nurse. And the nurse was like, are you in the medical field? Like, you seem to have a lot of knowledge. And I was like, no, but thank you so very much. And so then it was an ongoing joke that I was in the running for Employee of the Month.
Yes. Again, like Input and Bay.
So then
you just are always Employee of the fucking Month.
I forgot. I didn't realize I do that. I really do. I show up to other people's shop and assume.
Just assert yourself as better than them immediately.
That's my whole fucking life's problem. Wow.
Well,
I've got some stuff to talk to Kay about, that's for sure. But they really loved me. Okay. I remember I went home one night and I came back the next morning and, no, I'm sorry. I shot a wedding and then I came back and I went directly to the hospital.
Was that your last wedding?
Yes, that was my last wedding. And I went directly to the hospital to stay with my sister all night. There was some complications and so she needed some additional help. But when I got there, the one nurse was like, "Are you reporting for your shift?"
Yeah,
and I was wearing a green, like, matching sweatsuit. And I was like, "Oh my God, we're wearing blue tonight? Nobody told me." Anyway, so I really felt this immense amount of confidence after experiencing that when my kids got sick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Ollie's fever got to a point where it was so high and it kept, like, nothing would bring it down and nothing would bring it down for long. And he looked horrible.
Yes,
he looked
it's
so
scary when they get like that.
So pale. There was redness around his eyes.
Look like they're like
what was
little Victorian corpse children.
Yes. And what was bizarre was, like, both of my kids were experiencing illness, but they were experiencing such wildly different symptoms.
They were. Yeah.
And, like, Shane and I were not getting anything. So Ollie had this barking cough, this fever. He had a loss of appetite, sore throat. And that was mostly his vibe until he woke up one day and he had discharge from his eyes.
Ooh.
Green discharge from his eyes. Okay. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, my eyes are sore. He's swollen places. I'm like, what is this that
his eyes looked so red around them?
So bad. Forrest is complaining of an earache. He kept telling me he had boogers in his ear. He needed me to help him. And I was like, I don't think there's boogers in there, but okay. And then he was throwing up. He also had a loss of appetite. And then he also started developing discharge from his eyes. And so I'm like, oh, and diarrhea. And so I'm like, hey, why are there 1,000 symptoms that between the two of you? What's going on? So I take Ollie to the hospital because in the middle of the night, his fever will not come down even after an ice bath. Okay.
Scary.
And
God, do I hate doing ice baths because I know it helps them. I remember one time we had to give it to Sawyer and she was like a year, maybe younger. And I had to literally lay in there with her because she was like trying to fight her way out. And I'm like, I'm freezing because I'm I don't need this.
Someone said like, hey, why don't you try giving them the chewable Tylenol? Like they like it better. And I was, it has nothing to do with the flavor because when my kids.
Just knowing it's medicine?
Just knowing that it's medicine. Because I'll tell you what. Ollie took the medicine at the hospital like a fucking champ.
Really?
No issue for the nurse.
Interesting.
I was like, listen, I don't care. Whatever it takes.
Right.
If he'll take the medicine from you, I don't care. But we ended up having to take him. And at this point, if Ollie was asleep, Forrest was awake and vice versa. And so I was sleeping for maybe 15 minutes.
Doing the old newborn shift again.
Oh my God. And I had just got done doing the newborn shift with my sister. So I left the hospital knowing that Ollie tested negative for RSV, flu, and COVID. And I'm like, then what the fuck is this?
By the way, at this point, my entire family is also sick. So like we were thinking maybe it was something they had together because Sawyer started out with the sickness first. She also had a fever, but hers was mostly just like drainage, sinus, everything. And then Corey got like, they now diagnosed him as it's bronchitis. So he's got a steroid and an inhaler and a antibiotic, but like his is like all chest, coughing, whatever. I got like very minimal amount of it, but then it was over in like 2 days. Yeah. So that's why I thought you had whatever we had.
Right. Because the only thing where we were all in the same place was Sawyer's birthday party. And so I remember leaving the hospital and somebody who was working in the ER is someone that we know. And she was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, it's Sierra and that fucking party that she threw. I don't know what she did there. What's going on?
Those children. That's the thing. If you have a lot of children together, What are you going to do?
I believe that we were the culprits.
Really?
I would like to apologize to you in front of all our friends. I would like to take accountability because I believe I accidentally brought a super spreader to your party. Okay.
Troy and Rowan got sick too, I think. Yeah.
I saw them yesterday, John. You go.
Oh, well, maybe they're better.
Me.
I think that they're better now. They had just like a touch of what we had, which was not.
And that's why I think because we were only together for a short amount of time. Yeah. My kids are the worst because I think that Ollie
started it.
Yes, they are the
carriers.
Ground zero.
Yeah.
So I'm genuinely fucking confused at the fact that my kids have these very RSV and flu-like symptoms, but don't have either one.
Right.
Or
COVID. Nothing.
Nothing.
We were testing. I tested for strep, COVID, all of it, tested negative for everything.
So Ollie even got a chest x-ray when he was at the hospital.
Interesting.
And she said that he had some bilateral inflammation and that it's viral. Whatever it is, it's most likely viral.
You know that when Corey went, I remember when I was like, they'll probably do chest x-rays. The doctor took one listen and was like, I don't even need chest x-rays. That is fucking horrible. Whatever you have, fucking, I can tell you, it's bad.
Yep.
I'm going to prescribe you this, this, and this. We're going to try to knock it out because he goes, your lungs sound like shit.
Well,
like, yeah.
And that was Ollie. That's Ollie.
Yeah.
I mean, my kids are at a point where it's like coming out. So it sounds bad, but it's more of just like everything coming up.
Yeah.
But
sorry,
I talk about this. I talk about this because I've never heard of this before in my life. And it was alarming to witness. But I know what it is.
Dengue fever?
No.
Okay.
But I felt like fucking house when I discovered this, okay?
I know because you teased me with it, and I've been thinking about it for a week.
Guess what it is?
What is it?
It's called sixth disease.
Sixth
Disease. It's one of the main forms of rash, cousin to the fucking measles.
What?
Yeah, bitch. It's also known as roseola, which is not an Italian dish.
Okay.
It is a sickness, and the thing that sets it apart from the from first, second, third, fourth, fifth disease, is the rash follows the fever. So Ollie had several days, which is again stereotypical of roseola, several days of fever, high, and as soon as the fever breaks, rash. And the rash lasts anywhere from 12 hours to 3 days.
I bet that Sawyer and Corey both had a rash, but they have ginger skin, my sweet, sweet babies.
So they already have sensitive skin?
Oh, they get rashes like it could be a fucking breezy morning rash.
I get it. As a ginger myself, I am aware.
Like, I was like, Corey, you passed your sensitive ass skin on to our sweet, sweet baby. Because both of them, I'll just be like, where'd this if he kisses her on the cheek too hard, rash.
Scratches from his, Yep. No, for sure. So yes, it is roseola.
Wow.
And I was texting my friends that I went to college with.
And it's mostly in children, right?
It's mostly in children. Let me read the list of symptoms to you because
I think I heard of this. I think that Noah had
shocked.
this.
Well, okay.
I took him to the hospital for it because any rash you see on your child, especially with a fever, is very scary.
So symptoms of roseola are, the primary symptom is a high fever. And I'm talking like 103.
Corey had 101 fever, and that's high for an adult.
An adult. And normally adults don't have, it's more mild in adults. So rash after the high fever ends. Vomiting, diarrhea, loss of appetite, cough,
God. The way
sore
that Sawyer
throat,
had diarrhea, like
runny nose,
crazy.
Pink eye, swelling of the eyelids, which both my kids had, swollen lymph nodes, small pink red spots on the throat, which again my kids had as well in the back. So it's like so many fucking symptoms. And the fact that my kids had it, but like different symptoms of it. But to me, Ollie having the fever, the pink eye, and then when the fever broke, the rash, I'm like, that's it.
It's
like,
gotta be.
How many other, I've never heard of pink eye being a part
symptom of
with a sickness. I've heard of it being like separate on its own, but like it being a part of the process of this virus was like wild. And so they say that it's most common between like 12 and 24 months, but it can happen in kids up to 4. But they were saying like most kids are exposed to it before then. Well, guess what? We've got fucking COVID babies.
Yeah.
They've not been exposed to shit.
We haven't gone around other kids except for our children to each other.
So now Ollie's in school.
Yep.
So
and he was I bet he did get it at school.
Because if a kid has experienced it before, then they could be a carrier. Exactly.
So
Gave
they're
it to
going
my
to
kid.
school. They don't know that they're sick.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. So
interesting.
And there's nothing I can do but just let it run its course. And now my sweet, sweet Forrest is in the thick of it. I'm hoping that he's toward the end.
Yeah.
Because he's at the swelling of the eyelids.
I wonder if it was worse for Ollie because he's older.
Maybe.
Because it was worse for Corey. I know sometimes, like with hand, foot, and mouth, it can be worse for the adults.
Well, that was what the doctor checked for at the hospital. She was like looking at his hands and looking at his feet and looking in his mouth. And she's like, well, he doesn't have any lesions. But then when the fever broke, it was the day that we had gotten home from the hospital. That night is when he woke up in the middle of the night and his ankles had a rash around them, like raised hives, and his wrists did as well. And so I was like, is this hand, foot, mouth? But I'm like, that's not a lesion. Like. That's not a hand, foot, mouth.
And normally it's on the palms, right?
Right. And his was, it looked like he had poison ivy almost. Weird. Like just raised. You know how I'm allergic to ferns?
Yes.
When we did our Christmas show, I was trying to move stuff and I broke out in hives all over my body because I'm fucking allergic to ferns.
Yeah,
and so that's what it looked like, was that he had just had an allergic reaction to stuff on his ankles and his wrists. And then he had some on his stomach, and Forrest has some now on his stomach and his face. So I'm hoping that Forrest is almost done with it too.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Well, I have more. If you guys were wondering, this is just kind of a catch-up episode because
I told Sierra, I'm like, we should do a mental health update because
we need to. We're in the thick of some shit. And I know we say that a lot. But we are just normal humans, and we are going through, like, we've had a lot of life changes in the last couple years that happened rapidly.
I've had an insane amount of life changes, but like not in a positive way. Like,
right.
Like my personal Jerry life, just Jerry, not outside of Jerry. Pretty good.
Yeah.
But if we start factoring in other people in my circle, not so good.
Yeah.
So I actually was at a doctor's appointment for myself this morning. I have been on a new medication for the past month, and so they want to check in with me monthly. I'm also like decreasing my Zoloft amount. And when I was being checked in by the nurse, she was like, "Lucky you have been selected for the hospital's annual depression screening." I was like, uh-oh.
For what?
And she's like, so in the last 2 weeks, have you had a loss of interest in things? Feeling down? Have you struggled with, and I go,
depression.
I go, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean? That's literally how I spoke to her. And she started giggling, and I'm like, so color me depressed.
What do you want me to do?
I feel fucking attacked here right now. And so she's like, but like, yeah, you know, because your kids have been sick. And I was like, yeah, because my kids have been sick. Yeah, that's the only reason. And she's like, but in the last month, any changes? And I was like,
so many.
Well, this is why I said no. And that's not a lie. Because if things were changing, then maybe they'd be better. I feel like shit's just been same thing. It's just every fucking day.
Same bad bullshit. Well, you want to talk? Here's something I could tell you that might make you feel a little bit better, but it's not. Corey, because he's been sick, woke up the other morning. He's been sleeping not next to me because he's been literally, honestly, the other day I felt like a bitch. Okay, this is me. Sierra, look at me. Be transparent with yourself right now. You're kind of the problem. Okay. I understand that I'm being the
Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
I'm being the toxic one because he will like, okay, like cough up mucus, which I know he's trying to break it up in his chest, and I'll look at him and be like, "Are you fine?"
Could you do that somewhere else?
For some reason, the way he does it triggers an anger inside of me where I feel violent.
Disrespected.
I feel like, hey, enough.
Hey, no, I'm that way.
And I'm like, hey, I have to think like, what is wrong with you? He's sick.
Let's be honest with ourselves. Let's be vulnerable.
This is truth time.
Okay? This is what we're gonna do. We're in the truth tub. Remember when I did the hot tubs, the truth tub? Okay,
I like the truth
we're
tub.
there right now. Okay.
Okay.
Whenever Shane gets injured, my first thought is, "You're an idiot,
fucking baby.
You're stupid."
Well, here's why. Okay, Corey, I hope that you're not listening.
And I think it's because of childhood stuff, because people projected that onto me, and so now I project that onto other people. Blah blah blah.
Totally, but also,
I do that with sickness as well, because I look at them and I was like, "Are you a bitch?"
well, here's the thing that pisses me off. This pisses me off a lot because as someone, this is a childhood trauma thing. And my mom will tell you, Mommy, I don't know if you still listen, but just to cover your ears for this part.
Cover your ears.
I'm going to talk a little bit of shit. Okay. She brags about this as if it's a good thing.
Yes.
That she's like, I never took my kids to the hospital. Mm-hmm. I made them tough it out. It made them tougher people. Mm-hmm. No, it didn't. It made me a fucking hypochondriac because no one took me seriously.
And also invalidating myself.
I knew
in my hypochondria
shit was wrong because I was smart enough to know, hey, something's wrong here. And then she was like, you're fucking fine. Be fine with it.
Yep.
And then we wouldn't go to the hospital until I was literally dying. Mm-hmm. And then they'd be like, whoa, you're dying. And I was like, yeah. And they're like, you're being really strong about this. And I'm like, I'm afraid to show that I'm in pain because I've been taught that pain, like showing that is a weakness.
Yes.
Okay. But now trying to work out of that, I go to the hospital maybe too much. But also I'm
trying to find that middle.
I think maybe it's because I'm just so afraid that one of those moments is like, I am worried that I'm going to miss a serious symptom because I'm, quote, trying to tough it out.
Right.
So sometimes I'm like,
death is always nearer than we think.
And I know it. And I think about it constantly. Okay. So to me, and you said this the other day because I was like talking about the whole Corey situation, and you're like, you're basically a doctor at this point because of how much you've been to the hospital. So
yeah, I know. As a doctor myself,
real recognize real.
That's exactly right. I kept saying to the nurses, I was like, I got first in my class in beds 101. I know exactly how to fix this bed right now. Because my sister was trying to lean on one of the sides to get herself up, and it fucking dropped. I hate when that armrest.
It's the worst.
So then we're like, what do we do now? What happens next? Anyway, sorry.
So, it's funny that you said that. So when Corey was experiencing all these symptoms, I was like, do you know what you could do is you could go to a fucking doctor and he'll do this, this, and this for you. And I said, by the way, exactly what the fuck they did.
Right.
But he waited 3 more days until it was to the point where he was almost dying to do it.
Right.
And I was like, hey, you could have. And today he was like, I feel like 98% better. And I was like, you could have felt that
days ago.
Literally days ago. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to help you. Where was I going with this?
Help me help you. I think we were just talking. You wanted to talk about how Corey's a bitch because he coughs in bed.
Oh, no. I remember the story. I just took a detour to talk shit about my husband. In sickness and in health, they're really testing it. In bitchness and in wealth. Or whatever they say. So, he hasn't been sleeping with us.
Right.
Because when he coughs in the middle of the night, I yell at him.
I become enraged.
And that's where I was going with that. I'm sorry. That's me as a person. I'm a bad person. But I also yell at him when he doesn't sleep with us. It's,
guess what? I'm never happy. Okay? I will never be satisfied.
I need to work on myself. Okay? And I know this. And before everybody starts calling me toxic, I'm just having a little jokey joke. Me and Corey have had so many talks about it recently. I don't need you involved in my marriage.
And also, at the taste of your lips, I'm on a ride.
I'm toxic.
Anyway.
However, one night he did try to sleep in our room. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Okay.
And he woke up the next day and he's in the kitchen. And he goes, I have to tell you something. And I go, what? And he goes, I sleptwalk again.
He sleptwalk again?
But I was aware of it because he said he woke up and he had no idea where he was. It was pitch black. He goes, all of a sudden, in my dream, I'm trying to find a place to pee, and then all of a sudden I'm awake and I have no idea where I am. It's pitch black and I'm in a room and I'm standing up. And so he just starts feeling, and he's very scared. And he can't feel anything.
He's in the laundry room.
No, he was in our closet.
Okay.
So he ended up finding
It's closer
his way
than I thought.
Right. So he ended up finding his way to the bathroom because he fell onto the kitchen sink and felt his clippers for his beard trimming.
The kitchen sink?
No, in our bathroom because our bathroom.
You did say kitchen sink.
My bad.
I was like, why are his clippers in the kitchen sink?
And how is that connected to the closet?
And why did he walk so far away from the toilet?
But anyways, then he got there, but he goes, it was really scary, Sierra. I'm like, because he's never been fully awake when it happens. He's just heard me tell stories of him doing it. But this, he fully woke up while he was, and so in my mind, I'm thinking, how fucking long were you mobile? And what were you doing?
He's just rearranging the whole closet.
What were you doing? And
you wake up and he's got a buzz cut. He found the clippers first.
I'm so scared of
Gives
him
himself
now.
a high and tight in the middle of the night.
I was like, what am I? I was like, what do I need to? He goes, I was genuinely scared. I woke up and I was like, where am I? And it's so dark because I don't like any light when I sleep.
Well, yeah.
No bitch, baby.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was just the only thing I had to tell you about him.
Wow.
I know.
So.
Where do we go from here? How do we talk
know.
about our mental health? Normally we have questions.
That's true.
We didn't do that this time.
We didn't. Should we?
Should we?
I think what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a pause. We're going to go. We're going to go.
I have to fart a little bit. That's what I know.
We're going to take a fart break. And then what we're going to do is we're going to answer some questions about our mental health. But what I do want to mention, though, before we take our break is we had our 4-year anniversary a few days ago.
We did.
Oh, my God. This is what I was going to tell you. I started this conversation, then I stopped it. I was talking to my college friends the other day, okay, on Halloween, all right, which happens to be someone's birthday in the group, whatever, okay? And someone said, send a pic of your Halloween attire, everyone. And so I sent a pic of Forrest as Jack Skellington, and I wrote, hold on. I sent 2 pictures, one of Forrest, one of Ollie. And I wrote, Forrest went as Jack Skellington, and Ollie went to the hospital. And the photo is of Ollie at the hospital with a popsicle. And then I told them, because they were like, oh my God, what happened to Ollie? And I said,
is this like college friend group? I'm trying to picture who I'm. Okay.
I said, homie got Sick's disease, also known as roseola, which sounds like an Italian dish, but it's not. Crazy high fever for days. He's on the mend. And then someone goes, yeah, I think I raced against roseola in Madrid back in 88. I said, she fucking crushed it on the Rainbow Road. And then a response was, nah, roseola has to do with nipples. You can't fool me. Anyway, that was that. But what I wanted to say is we celebrated our 4-year anniversary, and
we did.
Every year so far for our anniversary, we have had you guys send in messages for us.
Was that what we did for our anniversary, or was that what we did for our 200 episode?
Mm-mm.
Are you sure?
200 we just did, and we read negative reviews.
Oh, I wish we wouldn't have done that.
No, I'm pretty sure
that wasn't fun.
I'm pretty sure for our anniversary we had people send stuff in.
Okay, well, if you want to, I'm feeling some type of way about that.
Why?
I just feel like it's the inside of me that's being like, I don't want to. I don't want the validation. I don't want them to be like gushing over me. I'm like, don't. Shh, be quiet.
You don't want someone to gush on you?
Normally,
I never do.
Normally, I do.
I've
been gushed over.
I love a good gushing. Well, I think.
No, I'm joking. The big thing is,
it was people's opportunity to speak about their personal experience.
Okay, that's what I want. I hate. I don't want people who are new to hear it. hear this and think that we're like asking people to like
gas us
come
up.
tell us about how much you love us.
No, no. What the reason for it, and I think the way that it went prior was people were sharing their experiences either in feeling validated in their sexuality and like coming out, or people were speaking about their first time going to therapy or leaving an abuser. And
so definitely tell us those stories.
Yes.
That's what we want.
Yes. Basically, if you've found a part of yourself or connected with another person.
Oh, I like that.
Or
okay.
experienced, it's kind of just like reflecting on how we've been a part of your life. Because something that I was just talking with someone about is having this job is incredibly lonely because even though we see each other all the time, if we have a circle of friends outside of this, they have access to us in a way that we don't have access to them. So we have created a way for people to connect with us without us having an opportunity
being able to connect with them back.
Yeah, to socialize. So people can get their dose of us.
Yeah.
And we don't get any socialization because we're checking boxes, making ourselves accessible, but it's not reciprocated.
Yeah.
And so it's incredibly lonely in that way.
100%.
And it's nice to feel like you guys are participating in the conversation and in the podcast in general by sharing your stories of growth and healing, and
especially because we've had to take a step back from things like the Facebook group, like Instagram DMs, like some things like that, just because as amazing as sometimes that one way or whatever open communication can be, it takes one message that we read that's like a mean one to make my whole fucking week feel like shit. You know what I mean? So like, and even sometimes I'll have to pull back on that, and it's sad because then I feel like I miss you guys.
But even if it's not a mean one, sometimes a beautiful one can take so much emotional real estate up in my heart and my mind, and I like want to sit with that for a while. And so yeah, there's a lot of you and little of us. Yeah. And we love being able to give you guys an opportunity to share your story and your connection to the podcast, because I think that, again, creates more connection. So
love it. Okay, good. I just wanted to really...
In no way am I asking to be gassed.
Good. I wanted to really... What am I trying to say? I want to say dick that down, but that's...
If you're gonna dick me down gently.
I really wanted to
drive it home?
Drive that point home, because I don't want people to ever think that we're like being like, so anyways, it's our anniversary. Tell us how much again. You love us. Like that to me
it's
feels
the
so
most
cringy.
Wonderful time
That's not what I want.
of the year.
If you want to say that in part of it, fine. Yeah. But like, I want to hear your story.
Yes.
There
we go. Okay, now we're going to take a pause so she can fart and we can get questions.
I've been holding it. Ron Stoppable, Kim Possible, beep, 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 beep. We're back.
And we've got questions about our mental health.
Oh my goodness. Is it fixed? No, it's not. Will it ever be? Probably not. And that's called positive mental attitude.
Here we go.
Oh my god, there's 3 of them.
Guys, there's so many fucking flies.
They out here.
That one's dead. Got it. All right.
Oh my god, you're Mr. Miyagiing them?
I'm trying. So just know, I feel like fucking Stinky from what's that kid's name? From Hey Arnold.
That is Stinky.
Is it Stinky?
Yeah. Lay the one that talks like Oh, that's another.
There's one on your mic stand. There's 2 on your mic stand.
Give me one little gnat. I'm gonna fucking think about my hygiene.
Oh my god, another one popped out for me doing that. Just know, guys, I'm overthinking our cleanliness right now because these fucking gnats. Anyway,
I think they're trying.
What's a great one?
Sorry. Hold on. That one was right there. ripe for the picking.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Anyway.
I'm done with them.
They're just going to be here. Okay.
Hold on. This fucking guy is having his last fucking hurrah. I'll tell you that. I'll fucking tell you that.
It goes directly into your beer.
Did I?
No. No, you didn't. You sure didn't. All right. So
I'm my ability. What is my reaction
hand-eye
time's
coordination.
a little slow.
All right. What's a great way to check in with yourself and find the right tools to deal with boundaries? I don't know.
The silence spoke volume.
I don't know.
Give it to me one more time. What's a great way to... Why would the fuck would you read that one when you know we don't have the answer?
What's a great way to check in? Well, because I read what's a great way to check in with yourself, and I was like, I'm going to take a bath. And find the right tools to deal with boundaries. Well, first of all, therapy. I know that's annoying.
No, but it's so true. Honestly, you have to get a professional's help because I feel like too many people are relying on
social media.
Yes, and those people aren't qualified.
Some are. However, you have to make sure you are seeking them out and you're verifying their qualifications.
That includes us.
Yes.
Sometimes we're not qualified.
We're almost always
all the time.
almost never qualified.
But I think that's too much. Oh, this is going to be me maybe being controversial, but I think too much people are being like, this is a person I know who struggles with this, and they built a platform off the fact that they have this mental illness. That doesn't make them an expert in that mental illness.
And it also doesn't mean that I've figured it out.
No.
But I do think that in a way it's comforting to see someone who's built a platform despite having something because it gives hope.
I'm not saying that they should be discredited. Just don't maybe always look at them for the ultimate answer.
Yes. But now, however, we did tell you to ask questions. So
I'm not talking specifically about us. I just mean I see that a lot on social media where they look at all the answers for maybe people who also are looking for answers themselves.
Aren't we all looking for answers?
So I would say take this with a grain of salt. This is what I do for myself only.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say number one, therapy is good. Number two is just like, my therapist always used to tell me that I was very
intuitive, self-aware.
And I could not think of what the word was.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, it's almost amazing how self-aware you are. How do you think that happened? And I remember saying to her, like, I'm so brutally honest with myself sometimes to the point where I don't sugarcoat things inside my own mind.
To me.
Almost to a fault. But also I think that's helped me understand myself a lot because I don't really give myself a pass. I don't try to make excuses for myself. So sometimes I'll say, yeah, I know I did this thing and I know I'm doing it because blank, blank, blank. And she's like, wow, that's actually incredible that you know that. And I'm like, well, that I thought was what everyone does.
Yes.
And apparently, no.
Yes.
So I guess my advice would just be so brutally honest with yourself sometimes when you're looking at maybe what you can factor into what the problem is.
I always have to ask myself, like, is the call coming from inside the house? Like, is this a me thing that I have unresolved, or is this person crossing a boundary?
I think that's important. I think sometimes too many people are looking for, it must be your fault that I'm feeling this way. And like, as somebody who did that for far too long, I only started getting better when I started looking at myself first.
Right.
And being like, could it be that I handled this situation incorrectly? Could it be that I'm the reason that maybe this isn't working out?
I think
first, because I think not
often,
always.
Yeah, oftentimes I will ask myself, am I whatever response I'm having internally, is that because I am not, like, what about this doesn't feel good? Is it because I feel misunderstood? Is it because I feel judged? Is it because I feel taken advantage of? Is it because, like, and is that a me problem? is what I'm feeling a true reflection of what's happening, or am I putting it through a filter because of unresolved past experiences? And something that I've started doing, because I believe that if I'm expecting change in a relationship that I have with someone, I have to show up differently as well. And so I don't sugarcoat things anymore. I used to be such a people pleaser, and I used to, if I couldn't find a way to have a conversation with someone without knowing for a fact that I could get a positive outcome, I just wouldn't have the conversation. Now, I don't care.
Well, you have to be okay with that negative result. You have to be like, okay, here's the thing. This can go one of two ways. Am I ready for this to end badly? And be confident in yourself and what you're presenting or what you're talking about, that you're okay with that person having a negative reaction, and that you're willing to either walk away from that being like, okay, I did my best in trying to make whatever this is work, or you can be confident in yourself in backing what you're saying to that person. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? With boundaries, I honestly don't. For me personally, I'm just going to be completely transparent. I don't really know that I do boundaries in the way that normal people do. I know I probably should, but like,
well, I feel like boundaries is being presented really, like such an absolute. I can't
do it.
I get fucking attached to words. The word that I'm attached to right now is absolutes. Speaking to me in absolutes drives me fucking nuts, because things to me are never all or nothing. Yeah. There are some exceptions where, like, with human rights and stuff, like, I don't believe that someone should never be allowed to, like, I don't think that someone should ever be allowed to tell me what I'm allowed to do with my body.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Right.
But as far as like someone, you always do this. This is always who you are.
Except even there, I can say that not technically, because your body can't murder another body. So like, you know what I mean?
That's true.
You know what I mean? There's always an exception, I feel.
Well, that's me doing something to someone else's body.
But is your body doing it? Is it not?
If my body is doing that to another body, then I'm contradicting myself, because now I'm saying that I'm allowed to do something to someone else's body when I already said that I don't believe in that. Anyway, just what I mean is, like, if you have an interpersonal relationship with someone and they are saying, like, you always do this or you never do this, unless there is, like, in my mind, and maybe this is toxic, and someone else who has, like, an actual degree and like, maybe has studied this can correct me, but unless you have, like, fucking a list of proof where I have never done something or I have always done something, speaking in absolutes makes someone feel like I'm monitoring your behavior and I'm highlighting the parts that validate my image of you, and I'm negating the ones that don't, so that I can keep the picture of you in my head.
I have a filter of who you are, and I'm going to run through everything you do through that.
Right.
And if you do good things, that doesn't count, because
that doesn't
in
validate.
my mind, you have this bad thing. So, but I will fucking call you the second you do that one bad thing. And so, this probably isn't you, but I just have really recently seen too many people using boundaries as almost a manipulate. We talked about this in weaponized therapy speak. So like, I've kind of completely taken those away from my vocabulary. I have certain things that I'll tell people is like, hey, I don't like when people, or I don't want to, okay, this was a controversial one I saw on TikTok, but I'm not going to go to someone's house if their house isn't baby proofed. Okay. This was, someone said, I have a boundary where the people in my family, I expect them to baby proof their homes if they want me to come visit with my 18-month-old.
Right.
And people fucking flipped out on her about that.
Really?
Yeah. They were like, a lot of like the child free community was like, you expect me to change my whole life because you had a child? No, I didn't say that at all. I'm just not saying, coming over. You come to me then.
Right. A boundary is about what I'm going to do.
Right. And so I think a lot of people were confusing that and saying like, you were trying to get this person to change their entire life for an hour visit. not the case. It's just, I don't want my child to, one, break your shit, and I don't want her to get hurt. And I know that those two things will happen if the house isn't baby-proof. Do you know whose house is baby-proofed? Is mine, and we could just hang out there if my child's going to be around.
And I don't want to spend the entirety of my time with you stressed and
running
distracted
after my child.
Yeah.
Which
I don't think that's unrealistic. And
unfortunately.
And that's why I say I feel like boundaries are more for you than they are the other person, because you can't control what someone else does, but you can control what you will do.
So for me, I don't say that to people. I don't tell people your house needs to be this or you will not see my child. Okay. Because I think too many people go like hard with boundaries. Like that's my boundary and you need to do this.
Like I need to make it clear or it's not valid.
For me, I just tell people when they ask about hanging out, I'm like, I would prefer we do it at my house if I have Sawyer. If not, I can't make it unless I have a babysitter.
Right.
And to me, that is, I guess, a quote boundary that I have. But I don't like even calling it that because.
Well, I think it gets it. Again, I was just talking to my dad about this because he was saying, he's like, I feel like I need someone to explain to me what these therapy terms mean.
They got really, really, really muddled in the last couple of years.
And I said, I feel like you can understand it if I put it in different terms. If I assimilate this to something you're familiar with. I want to take a pause and fucking kill these bugs. I'm losing my mind. That was like no time for you guys, but Sierra and I just spent some time killing bugs.
We did.
There were so many, but okay, let me get back to what I was saying.
Listen, okay, what were you gonna say?
Do you have something else?
All I was just gonna say is like maybe this is a me thing, just because I have a history of being controlled in an abusive relationship, and that person used very therapy-like manipulation tactics to control me. So the way that I'm seeing that now be used against people is making me want to be like all together. Yeah. It's like an all. I unfortunately it feels like an all or nothing behavior to me, where I'm like, I don't even want to hear that word, because immediately to me now I think of it as
a means to control. Well, this is what I explained to my dad. So my dad is a basketball coach.
Real quick, I know everybody doesn't use it like that.
I'm
not fucking saying that at all.
No, you were just saying from your personal experience.
Good.
It gives you the ick.
But you know.
Yes, I know. So when I was explaining this to my dad, because he was like, I feel like my therapist, meaning speaking as my dad, he's like, my therapist told me that gaslighting, narcissist, and maybe it was boundaries. Fucking serious. Did I get it? I don't. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Oh, oh yeah. Okay. Good. The last ranger. Okay, so my dad's therapist said the gaslighting, narcissist, and I think boundaries was like the most overused and incorrectly used terms.
Totally.
And what's unfortunate about that is they are very real things that have huge impacts on people when used correctly and inappropriately.
Yeah.
And so what I explained to my dad was, I said, you understand how that works because you're a basketball coach. You've been a basketball coach forever. Let me put this in terms that you'll understand. In sports, again, if you're not a basketball person, you could probably assimilate this to a sport or a video game, something where there's rules. Okay?
The Sims.
So, in basketball, there's something called fouls.
Yeah.
Okay? If you don't play the game, you rely on other people to explain to you what the fouls are.
Sure.
And based on their understanding of it, whether it is accurate or not, is going to impact your understanding of it. And now, there are referees whose job it is to decide what is a foul and what isn't a foul. And some of them are real hot on the fucking whistle, and they're calling everything. And people are like, what do you mean? That is not what that is.
Yes.
You are overusing it. Yes. And it's affecting people.
Yes.
Or there's people who never fucking hit the weasel. Hit the weasel. Weasel round of Rosie. There are people who never hit the whistle. And you're like, what the... Are you blind?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Why are you not...
seeing what I'm seeing?
Yes. And again, it's the exact same thing. You are not calling stuff out according to what it is, and it's affecting people. So it is the exact same thing, but with social media And with the rise of mental health being such a forefront thing, there are so many people who are able to weigh in on what's a foul and what's not a foul and what it means to be a foul.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I feel like we have to be careful with it. And I don't even know if we're still talking about the question or if we've just completely deviated. We've only answered one.
But I would say here's the thing. I would say my biggest thing is just like have, number one, advice that I can give you person. Have confidence in yourself, back yourself, and know that that's all you need. That's it. Yeah. You don't have to do anything with anybody else. Just do you control your thing and worry about that. I know. I see it. I do. How? Okay. This one's mine. Come back. The lights are fucking freaking me out.
3.
You did that. You did that shit.
Got it.
I was like, there's no way you didn't get that.
I did get it. The other ones must have got scared. They don't want the smoke. All right.
He's back in your face.
Which one?
He just fucking came right up to your mic.
Well, that wasn't the one I killed. That was a different one.
Certainly not.
Anyway.
Sadie rose from the dead. He didn't fucking thriller your ass.
Jerry.
Okay.
Do you feel like having a belief system is vital for mental health? What's that journey been like for you?
I'm confused. Why is this for you?
I'm wondering if this person hasn't gotten to Faith 2.0.
Yeah. I'm like, hold on, I'm confused.
Which is interesting. Oh, that one's dead. I have a dead bug on my finger. Which is interesting because we just spoke about this at lunch. And I spoke about this with Shane this morning.
I'm confused.
I believe that I do have a belief system, and I think that you as well have a belief system. But it's more
why am I getting left out?
No, I think it's more so a like internal spirituality, just like belief in goodness
in the world.
Yes.
And that there is inherently more good than bad.
And also that my purpose here
out into the world, I think, will
return. So karmic.
Totally.
And mine is I would agree with that, but I also my belief system is that like there's a reason I'm here, whether that's 100%. Like to make a difference or just to like to experience something. Like it doesn't have to be this grand thing when we talk about purpose. You know what I mean? So that is my current belief system, and I think for me it is important to have some kind of a driving factor. But I think that's also true for anyone, for anything, because if you don't have a drive, then what is the point of being more than a potato?
We talked about that at lunch. I was just saying, like, it's weird to know Jerry as long as I did, and then also know that she was as deep into religion as she was at one point, because it doesn't align with what I know about her in other ways.
And what's wild is I felt the same way about you when you were happening.
In it. I know.
Yeah.
It's weird. But both of us understood that when we were deep in religion, it was when we were in some of the lowest moments of our life where we almost just needed something. And we just like grasp onto the first thing that was easy to obtain, essentially, which was like people telling you this will fix all your problems.
Yeah.
Just come and do this thing. And so that's what we did. And yeah, it's just do whatever makes you feel.
I don't necessarily know that I believe it's vital for your mental health to have a like specific belief system, but I do think it's vital for your mental health to believe in yourself.
Yes, in whatever way you need to.
Yeah.
And I applaud that. People think that we're anti-religion. We're not. No. I fully agree with doing
I'm anti-religion telling other people what they can and can't do, especially people who aren't a part of that religion.
Yeah.
Anyway, can you both go into body image issues and how you navigate them? Struggling with that. Ouch.
Can we pass on that one?
Editing Jerry.
Sierra and I just got back from LA, like, what time is it? Like 2 hours ago. And this episode has to go up tomorrow. So I'm about an hour and 20 minutes in, and I know that there's at least another 20 minutes, if not more, but for whatever reason, there's no audio for the ending of it. The audio just cuts off. So we actually did finish a question. So we're going to try and take some time and figure out where the rest of that audio went. And I guess utilize part of that for the Patreon episode that's going to come out this Friday. So sorry for the abrupt ending and not the normal outro, but I think we can all just collectively blame the fruit flies from this episode. So we love you so much. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next week. You see over here, she'd say, all right, we're out. Then she says, bye.